The following session is with a client by the name of Marsha. Now, Marsha initially comes with a jaw clenching problem, although she's not experiencing any jaw tension at that time. So we don't really do any specific tapping on jaw pain or jaw tension because she's not experiencing any. But through a little bit of digging and a little bit of tapping, we find that she doesn't like to be controlled by others, and there's some issues at work. And so we do a little bit of tapping on that, and then we get even a little deeper into some more family issues where there's a lot of sadness and repressed emotions about not having a connection with her sister and the family dynamics and how her sister doesn't see things the way that she sees them. So the session is a bit more of that non-directive approach that we've talked about, and it provides a good example of that. Marsha, thanks so much for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So I understand that you have a jaw clenching issue that you would probably like to do some work on.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So do you know how long you've been clenching your jaw? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Are you aware that you're doing it? How do you know?
Well, my dentist for years has told me that I grind my teeth at night, and I've got a mouth guard that I'm supposed to wear, which I never wear. And just a couple months ago when I was there, he just showed me how it affects your teeth, and so I'm concerned about it. And I know over the last few years, you know, I can, even when I'm awake, sometimes I can feel the tension in my jaw, and I, you know, just try and relax it type of thing. And I don't know why, or, you know, obviously
there's something underneath that.
Yes.
Sometimes it's related to stress. Do you have a lot of stress in your life?
Well,
tension?
not 3 years ago I may have, but when I was working full time, but now I'm retired, semi-retired, so I really don't have a lot of stress per se.
Mm-hmm. Life's pretty good. And
very good, very fortunate.
Yeah. What about, do you remember when it started?
Well, I don't know, can this be hereditary? Because I remember when I was a young kid and I was sleeping with my grandmother, and I remember hearing her grind her teeth, and I don't know if that's a possibility as well.
You just maybe picked that up as you observed her?
I don't know. I just remember at one point I must have been probably 7 or 8, and I was living with her for a little while, and I remember listening to the grinding, and it was awful, just terrible, the grinding of her teeth. So maybe it could be some family hereditary thing.
Do you remember when you first started, though? Like, you were 7 or 8 remembering grandma doing it, but when you first started doing it, were you in your teens? Were you in your 20s?
Well, the first time that somebody told me that I was grinding my teeth, I think it was my dentist.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't
you were
aware
that
of
you
it.
were doing it.
And even now, when I talk to my husband, I say, like, don't you hear me grinding my teeth? And he says, I don't hear anything. Mind you, the dentist said that he also grinds his teeth. So I said...
That your husband does too?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't know, unless the dentist just wants to make those mouth guards, I'm not really sure.
They're kind of expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay.
Covered by insurance, though.
That's good. How do you feel about the whole jaw clenching process? Is your jaw tight right now at all?
No, not at all. Like,
but how do you feel about it? Is it frustrating? Is it...
I just don't think it's good. Yeah, I just don't think it's good for you. Any tension anywhere is not really going to be maximizing your health and your wellness. Mm-hmm. And it's uncomfortable.
But how do you know it's uncomfortable?
Well, because it's like a clench, like someone's got something on you, and that you know there's nothing you can do to move, you know. I don't know, maybe this is being a little dramatic about it, but when I'm thinking about it, it's like sometimes I don't even realize it. It's so it constantly is like that. You know, there's certain periods, and I don't think it's necessarily that I'm you know, stressed about something, but obviously
let's just start with, even though I have this jaw clenching problem and I'm not quite sure what it's related to, I can love and accept myself anyway. And kind of, are you frustrated at all by how do you feel about the fact that you do that? You kind of mad
I
at
don't
yourself
do
for
it
doing
regularly. It's not a big part of
But
my
how do you
day.
feel about it?
Actually, I don't feel that bad about it. I just don't think it's good for me. And the fact, like I said, that my dentist said that showed me how it affects my teeth when I actually
Do it.
do it at night.
So you're kind of worried about it.
Well, yeah.
How it's
I
affecting
want
your
to have
health.
nice teeth, for the next so many years. And
Okay.
so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Right. Let's just start with a couple of surface rounds, and then we'll see where we get.
Okay, sure.
Even though I start at the sore spot, even though I have this jaw clenching problem,
Even though I have this jaw clenching problem,
I'm not really sure where it comes from,
I'm not really sure where it comes from.
but I know I'm kind of worried
I know that I'm kind of worried
about how it might affect my health
about how it would affect my health
and my teeth long term.
and my teeth long term.
Regardless of that,
Regardless of that,
I can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
I can forgive myself
I can forgive myself
for this pattern of clenching my jaw,
for this pattern of clenching my jaw.
mostly when I sleep at night.
Mostly when I sleep at night.
Inner part of the eyebrow.
Just one?
Yeah, that's good. This jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
I'm hurting my outside of the eye. I'm hurting my teeth.
I'm hurting my teeth.
Under the eye, this jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
I know it's not good for me.
I know it's not good for me.
Don't know why I'm doing it.
I don't know why I'm doing it.
Don't really know how to stop it.
Don't really know how to stop it.
This jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
All this tension that I hold in my jaw.
All this tension that I hold in my jaw.
Maybe I can let it go.
Maybe I can let it go.
This jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
I'm kind of worried about how it's affecting my health.
Kind of worried about how it's affecting my
And how
health.
it's going to affect my teeth long term.
And how it's going to affect my teeth long term.
But I don't know how to stop it.
But I don't know how to stop
I
it.
only do it when I'm sleeping.
Because I only do it when I'm sleeping.
Mostly when I'm sleeping.
Mostly when I'm sleeping.
Back of the hand. Good. Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Gorgeous. Other direction. Happy birthday together.
Happy birthday.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Inner part of the eyebrow. This jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
I should like to know why I do it.
I sure like to know why I do it.
Under the eye, because I know I'm hurting myself.
Because I know I'm hurting myself.
I know I'm hurting my teeth,
I know I'm hurting my teeth.
and it can't be good for my health.
And it can't be good for my health.
This jaw clenching problem.
This jaw clenching problem.
I'm not sure what it's connected to.
I'm not sure what it's connected to.
But I'd sure like to know why.
But I'd sure like to know why.
Deep full breath in and out. As you release. So sometimes we just do a surface round or two to kind of see what comes up for us. And other than, like, we don't really have any jaw tension today.
No.
We just know that we do it sometimes. We don't know why. But we've talked about this before, I think, that we know that it's kind of connected often to anger or resentment.
Yes.
Yes.
You told me that.
What do you, if you were going to be angry about something, if you were angry about something, what do you think that would be?
If I were angry about something, somebody treating me bad.
Because you mentioned something before about how it kind of felt like it had grips on you.
Yeah.
Yes. What does that feeling remind you of?
Being at work and people having control over you, not being able to do things the way you see fit.
So at work you couldn't really do things as you saw fit. Is that right?
I could, but
Was
there were restrictions.
There were restrictions at work. How did you feel about those restrictions at work?
Angry.
Can you give me a specific example?
A specific example would be something like...
Because you're semi-retired now, so are you still working? You said...
Yeah, I have my own business now.
Okay.
I'm self-employed. So it would be, somebody actually telling me to do something that they had no knowledge of how to do it themselves. And, people trying to get you to do things their way, even though you know it's not correct.
So people would try to get you to do things their way, and you were like, I'm not doing it that way?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And you felt kind of angry about people telling you what to do?
That's probably what it is. Yes.
I don't like being told what to do. Don't tell me what to do? Does that land for you?
I can take direction, but I guess maybe it's I have to respect the person that is giving me that direction.
And you don't want to give them respect?
No, it's not that I don't want to give them a respect. It's if it's someone that, in my estimation, doesn't deserve that respect because of for whatever reason, then it's hard for me to go along with what, they want me to do.
If you had to scale that anger, if you can go back to an image or a memory of someone telling you what to do and you don't really think that's the right way to do it, and so you got to kind of grit your teeth and bear it, if you will.
There you go.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, right?
There you go, yeah.
So I'll grit my teeth and bear it, even though I don't want to do it that way. Give me a scale of 1 to 10 how true that feels for you, or what that...
Yeah, that would be pretty high on
Pretty
the scale.
high?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though
I
had to grit my teeth and bear it at work.
I had to grit my teeth and bear it at work.
And maybe do something in a way
that
I didn't think was the right way to do it.
That I didn't think was the correct way to do it.
But I had to do it because they told me to.
But I had to do it because they told me to.
Regardless of that,
I
love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
This anger.
I
don't want to do it that way.
I don't want to do it that way.
But I don't have much of a choice.
But I don't have much of a choice.
This anger.
I
have to grit and bear it. I have to grit and bear. The way they want me to do it. I have to grit and bear. The way they want me to do it. Ooh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it that way.
I don't want to do it that way.
But I have to grit and bear it. Back of the hand. Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Good. Other direction. Good. And then keep tapping the back of your hand as you follow from floor to ceiling. Have to grit and bear it. Don't want to do it that way. Have to grit and bear it. Don't want to do it that way. Inner part of the eyebrow. Have to grit and bear it. This anger. Good. Don't want to do it that way. Have to grit and bear it. This anger. Don't want to do it that way. Don't want to give you that respect. Don't want to do it that way. Deep pull back in. Out. Releasing the hands. And then just check in with that, whatever memory it is that you're working with, or a particular situation, where they tell you how to do something and you don't think it's the right way to do it, but you grit and bear it and do it anyway. Give me a number.
You mean right now?
Yeah, when you think about it.
It doesn't affect me anymore.
No, how did you feel about it then?
Oh, then? Okay. I didn't like it. I didn't like being forced to do things that...
How much did you not like it? If you had to scale it. I know that's hard for...
At the peak, it could have been a 10 at the peak. There are ways that you find to dance around things.
Yeah.
So that you can still do your job the way you see fit.
What didn't you like?
Being told what to do.
Even though
I
didn't like being told what to do.
Didn't like being told what to do.
I did not like being told what to do.
I did not like being told what to do.
I can love, accept, and forgive myself. Fully and completely.
Good.
Did not like being told what to do.
Did not like being told what to do.
I did not like being told what to do.
I did not like being told what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
I don't like being told what to do.
I don't like being told what to do.
I do not like being told what to do.
I do not like being told what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
But maybe I can let go of that anger that I feel.
Maybe I can let go of that anger that I feel.
As a result of that.
Good.
Maybe I can let go.
Of
the anger that I feel.
As
a result of that. Good. Deep pull back in. And just say, I don't like being told what to do.
I don't like being told what to do.
Has anything come up for you? If there was a number, what would it be?
Like right now,
No, not right now, but
I'm
maybe
looking back.
looking back.
Looking back. It's so distant now that it's so far away that it just...
Could you get upset about it thinking? Do you ever get upset about it just thinking about it?
Depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility that something might trigger it. You might see something that you dealt with where
it was similar?
That was similar, yeah. And then you start to think back about it. That's true.
Yeah. So we want to be able to access that. We want to be able to fire that feeling, that emotion.
Yeah.
So
it's ugly.
Yeah. But if we don't go back and do the work, retrieve it, tap on it as we experience it, then we don't really we want to access it, but we don't, right? Because it's not pretty.
The interesting thing is that I, feel that I've let it go, but obviously it's still sitting in there somewhere.
Do you have any other things that you might feel angry or resentment about? Like you don't like being told what to do. There's obviously been a situation at work.
Right. Family issues as well. Connection with sisters.
Oh. Tell me a bit about the next thing that just comes to mind. Tell me about that. What's the emotion there? Is it more sadness?
Yeah.
Just tap here, the sadness. The sadness. The sadness. Stay with me, the sadness.
The sadness, sorry.
Okay, connection with my sisters.
Connection with my sisters.
Not having a connection with my sisters. One sister.
One.
The sadness.
Sadness.
Not having a connection with my sister.
Not having a connection with my sister.
The sadness.
The sadness.
Not having a connection with my sister.
Not having a connection with my sister.
Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find with the eyes. Good. Other way. Good. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good. Floor. Keep tapping. Floor to ceiling eye roll. Good. This sadness.
This sadness.
Not having connection with my sister.
Not having connection with my sister.
Looking up, up, up. This sadness.
This sadness.
This sadness.
This sadness.
Not having connection with my sister.
Not having connection with my sister.
This sadness.
This sadness.
Not having connection with my sister.
Not having connection with my sister.
I really wish I did.
I wish I did.
This sadness.
Sadness.
You wish you had a connection with your sister.
I wish I had a connection with my sister.
Do you? I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay, this sadness.
This sadness.
Sometimes jaw clenching is really just repressed emotions in general, right?
Okay.
If we're not able to experience emotions and they're just kind of there all the time, we just hold them in the jaw, or it's really common to hold them in the jaw. So just if that, sometimes we use like a non-directive approach where we just kind of follow what the subconscious mind wants to process at this time, right? So tell me a little bit about your sister and why you don't have connection with her.
I don't know. That's the issue. I'm not really sure.
You're not sure why?
No.
Can you tell me what happened, when it started?
Nothing.
Do you have more than one sister?
No, I have 2 sisters.
You have 2 sisters?
Yeah.
And where are you in that order?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Which sister do you not have a connection with?
The middle sister.
The middle one. Do you have connection with your youngest one?
Yes.
Good. Did you have a connection with middle sister growing up?
Not much, I guess, when I think back now. Yeah. So she told me.
What did she tell you?
That we never really... I can't remember how she put it. We never really did much when we were, I don't know, kids, or we just... I don't know. I can't even remember.
And how sad do you feel when you think about it? Give me a sadness on the scale, because we were probably close to a 9 or a 10 a minute ago.
Yeah, I feel sad about it.
Can you give me a number if you had to scale it? 1 to 10. 10 being we're crying.
Yeah, I'd say probably 7 or 8. Yeah.
Even though I still have some of the sadness.
Even though I still have some of the sadness.
Because I don't have a connection with my sister.
Because I don't have a connection with my sister.
And I don't even know why.
And I don't even know why.
Part of me would just want to know why.
Yeah.
And maybe that would make it okay.
Yes, yes.
Regardless of that,
regardless of that,
I can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
No connection with my sister.
No connection with my sister.
Don't even know why.
Don't even know why.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
No connection with my sister.
No connection with my sister.
Don't even know why.
Don't even know why.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
No connection with my sister.
No connection with my sister.
Don't even know why.
Don't even know why.
So maybe I can let that sadness go.
Maybe I can let that sadness go.
One little bit at a time.
One little bit at a time.
Deep full breath in. Out. And then check in with sadness. Or just say, I have the sadness. I don't have a connection with my sister.
I have sadness. I don't have a connection with my sister.
Can you scale the sadness?
No sadness. Not right at this point.
Not at this point. And that's okay. Do you long for a connection with her? Do you miss her?
I just don't enjoy family discord because it's one piece of the puzzle that affects the whole family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How does it affect the whole family?
We're just not united in the sense that we do things together. Everything's kind of separate. She does stuff with my mother separately. I do stuff with my mother separately or with my other sister. And there's, I don't think it's fair for my mother, but she has issues with my sister too, I guess. So.
Who does?
My mother.
Has issues with the middle sister?
Yeah.
What do you know about that?
All I know is she just says it's just all about her. And there's just no way things will ever change. It's been like that for years.
Because middle children actually sometimes feel really left out.
I know.
So
my father was always concerned about that, the middle child. Gave her a lot of attention apparently because of that. He was aware of that, believe it or not, at the time.
Right. So he gave her extra attention.
Apparently.
How do you feel about that?
I got lots of attention from my father, yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah, we were close.
Right. But the sadness is a 0, that you don't have a connection with her.
No, I don't. I feel fine. But, like I said, part of that whole situation is the fact of having the whole family as a unit.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for my mother. That's where the sadness comes, I guess.
Yeah. Even though I feel bad for my mother.
Even though I feel bad for my mother.
Because I know she'd really like to have that family connection.
Because I know she would really like to have that family connection.
I can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
The sadness.
The sadness.
I feel bad for my mom.
I feel bad for my mom.
Because I know.
She
longs for that connection.
She longs for the connection even though she says she doesn't.
Even though she says she doesn't.
Even though she says she doesn't. She said she's over that now.
She's over that now.
Yeah, she says she doesn't want to get sick about something like that. She has to take care of her own health.
But you don't believe her?
I do in a sense, but I still think if it was offered, I believe that if things were different and it was offered in a different way, it would be so much better for the whole family.
It'd be better for the whole family.
Yeah.
It'd be better for the whole family.
I think so. I think it'd be better for the whole family.
I think it'd be better for the whole family.
I think it'd be better for the whole family.
The sadness.
The sadness.
Because I long for
the
whole family to be connected.
For the whole family to be connected.
Yeah. Back of the hand. Oops. Good, you got it. Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Gorgeous. Other way. Good. And we'll just keep tapping the back of the hand. Floor to ceiling eye roll. This sadness.
This sadness.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
This sadness.
This sadness.
Looking up, up, up. Longing for the whole family to be connected.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
This sadness.
This sadness.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
This sadness.
This sadness.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
Longing for the whole family to be connected.
This sadness.
This sadness.
This sadness.
This sadness.
Give me a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your sadness.
2.
2. Yeah.
That's fine.
Part of you still, well, we'd like to get to 0. Part of you still longs for that connection. Because you said that your mom longs for the connection.
I don't think she does from what she says, but she says that, things will never change. And I think she's of the adage that you just have to change the way you feel about things or deal with things, because you can't change anyone else. And she's like 82. She's going to be 82. So
right.
Over the last several years, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, whatever, maybe even longer than that, she's just put it in her mind that this is the way things are, and she's not going to get, because people get sick over these
literally physically sick over
like the
stuff.
dis-ease. And she's got a really strong mind for someone that has a little bit of memory loss, and she says, I'm not going to let that make me sick. And so she just goes with the flow. But it's such a surface thing. We do get together, but it's very surface because there's so much underneath that could come out.
Sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, and it's like, if we start it, it would just be...
It would explode.
Yeah, it's not good. So, and nobody really wants to broach it.
What would happen?
Well, it's just that, like my mother said, it's always about her. So it's her way or the highway. And you could never criticize or discuss anything with her because she will not accept that she's ever done anything wrong. I don't know if you've ever run into someone like that.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. So, you can just keep offering.
What has she done wrong, you think, that she won't accept? Just kind of in general, like?
I don't know. She just... I think my mother said that she's a very jealous person. She's always been like driven by jealousy and very materialistic, and
Do you normally feel like crying when you think about it or talk about it?
No, not anymore. I used to really get very upset about it, thinking about it, thinking, what can, and I've had discussions with her before that just don't go anywhere. Like, for example, when my mother was starting to get a little bit ill, all the sisters got together to see how we were gonna handle this, and she just really wants no part of it. Like, it's like you ask her to do stuff or she won't do it. And that's that's fine. You can't make anybody do anything, but stuff like we all meet at a certain place, and we thought she was late, so we went somewhere else, and then she wasn't there, so we came back to the other place, and then we called her on the phone and we said, we thought we didn't know. Well, she come there, but she didn't wait. She just left and went home again. And then we said, well, could you come back? Because I had like a half an hour drive to get to. No, I'm not coming back. So, and it's just.
How do you feel about your sister? Because she sounds really hard to work with. Yeah,
she's.
What's the feeling around it though? Frustration.
Yeah, frustration, and I don't know. I just don't know why she doesn't want to, draw the family together as opposed to split them apart. There's always in every family, there's one person that is the disturber, that does the gossiping and does all this stuff. Maybe not in every family, but it's just, for some reason, she, seems to have sides with a part of the family that sort of just put up with her. And
on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about trying to work with your sister?
It's very tense. Like when I'm around her, I feel not as much anymore because I've sort of read a lot of books and tried to just let it go. I have to let it go. And when she's ready, things can change.
Yeah.
I'm always open. I always say that if she ever decides to change the way she is, I'm here.
Okay. Let's do a round on even though.
Even though
I've always pressing in a circle, even though I have all this tension when I think of my sister.
Even though I have all this tension when I think of my sister.
And she's pulling the family apart instead of pulling it together.
She's pulling the family apart instead of it together.
I can love and accept myself anyway.
I can love and accept myself anyway.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
Even though I hold all this tension in my jaw.
Even though I hold all this tension in my jaw.
Because I have all this tension about my sister.
Because I have all this tension about my sister.
And she's pulling the family apart.
She's pulling the family apart.
Instead of pulling us together.
Instead of pulling us together.
She never wants to cooperate.
She never wants to cooperate.
She just makes everything difficult.
She makes everything difficult.
Regardless of that.
Regardless of that.
I can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
And maybe one day forgive her.
Maybe one day forgive her.
For not being able to see what I think she's doing.
For not being able to see what I think she's doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All this tension.
All this tension.
I'll just hold it in my jaw.
I'll just hold it in my jaw.
All this tension.
All this tension.
My sister causes me so much tension.
My sister causes me so much tension.
She's pulling the family apart.
She's pulling the family apart.
Instead of pulling us together.
Instead of pulling us together.
Why does she make it so difficult?
Why does she make it so difficult?
Why can't she pull us together?
Why can't she pull us together?
All this tension with my sister.
All this tension with my sister.
Maybe I can let it go.
I know I can let it go.
I know I can let it go. Okay. Deep pull back in. Out. And then check it. Just say in your mind, I have so much tension about my sister. It's a big one, but if you could give it a number, just a number.
Thinking about it then? Thinking about her sitting here?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, Marsha.
Yes, that's what she would say.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
What does that do inside? Is there an irk?
It used to irk me. Now I realize all these years that it's been happening, it's almost like it's a control thing.
Oh.
That, you know how I don't like to be controlled and be told what to do. Comes
Yes.
back to that.
Even though pressing in a circle, I don't really get along with my sister.
I don't really get along with my sister.
Because I don't like to be controlled.
Because I don't like to be controlled.
I don't like being told what to do.
I don't like being told what to do.
And I don't like her.
And I don't like her.
Because she's trying to run the family.
She's trying to run the family.
And I don't like how she's doing that.
I don't like how she's doing that.
Regardless of that,
I
can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
And maybe let that go.
Maybe let that go.
A little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
Okay, you don't like to be controlled.
I don't like to be controlled.
Don't like being told what to do.
I don't like being told what to do.
It's like my sister.
It's like my sister.
Trying to run the show.
Trying to run the show.
Oh, it caused me so much tension.
It caused me so much tension.
Don't like being told what to do.
Like being told what to do.
Don't like being controlled.
Don't like being controlled.
It's like my sister.
It's like my sister.
Is trying to do just that.
She's trying to do just that.
She's pulling the family apart.
Pulling the family apart.
I do not like what she's doing.
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 Like she's trying to control the family.
Like she's kind of trying to control the family.
But maybe I can forgive her.
Maybe I can. I definitely can forgive her.
I can forgive her. Good. Deep pull back in. So you don't like being controlled, and you feel like she's trying to do that to you to a certain extent?
Everybody. She tries to do it to everybody.
Oh.
Her kids, her husband, her cousins, her whatever, her friends.
How do you feel about that?
That's her, that's not me. So it really has nothing to do with me. I've realized. It's taken me a while to, not judge her. She's got stuff to work on, but whether she'll ever get there or not, I don't know. I just had an aunt that passed away that was 97 years old.
Wow.
And her daughter never got along. The aunt was living in her house by herself, and the daughter married someone that my aunt didn't want her to marry and moved down to Florida and has been there for years and very rarely comes up to visit the mother. And I went to the funeral, and I don't know, it's just like, and I've heard her speak negatively about her mother before, not at the funeral, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, let it go. But obviously, maybe there's something in our family about that.
But you're not able to let it go either, right?
Yeah, well, I'm working on myself, so I'm letting things go, and and I think I am. You know, like I have a peaceful life. I realize that I have to divorce myself from people that are not peaceful.
Right.
You know, because I don't want drama in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister is the type that likes drama. So, but I felt so bad that, you know, like, she came up for the funeral because her mother, or before when her mother got sick and that, and then at the funeral she goes, "Oh, I gotta get home, like, I don't know, I just had this feeling that there was just no attachment between her and her mother, and I thought, oh, that's so sad. All these years. Well, I just thought to myself, you know, like, her mother did the best she could, and apparently she was upset with her mother because her mother only had one kid, and maybe, I don't know, she didn't give her enough attention or whatever, but she just made her pay her whole life by just
How attached to that are you?
I'm not really that attached to it, but it just came up because I was, you know, at the funeral,
right.
You know, and I thought, like, it's all those years that they've lost together, you know.
And at the same time, that's happening for you and your sister, right?
Yeah.
We're losing all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Together, because she wants to. More sadness?
Yeah, it's too bad because it's not even her I want to see, it's her kids.
This remaining sadness.
Who knows what she said to the kids? This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
We're losing years together.
We're
losing years together. We're losing years together.
We're losing years together.
The years go by.
The years go by.
And we don't talk.
And we don't talk.
And I don't get to see my nieces and nephews.
I don't get to see my nieces and nephews enough.
Because
we
don't get to talk.
Because we don't talk.
And she doesn't want to talk.
No. Surface talk is all she wants.
Surface talk is all she wants.
Surface talk.
And one day we might regret all of this.
Yes.
One
day we might regret all of this. And also, I think it affects my kids.
It affects my kids too.
I think it affects my kids too.
All the sadness. It affects my kids too.
They make a joke of it.
They make a joke of it.
They say, "When's the last time you talked to your sister?" And I think that it's a bad example for my two children because I want them to be close.
I want my kids to be close.
I want my kids to be close.
She's not setting a good example.
And she's not setting, or either am I, really, am I?
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
Not setting a good example.
Not setting a good example.
Losing all these years together.
Losing all these years together.
Just let it be there. Inner part of the eyebrow, the sadness.
Sadness.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
Under the eye, all the sadness.
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 Good, almost there. All the sadness.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
Losing all these years together.
Losing all these years together.
Not setting a good example for our kids.
Not setting a good example for our kids.
Can't see my nieces and nephews as often as I'd like.
Can't see my nieces and nephews as often as I'd like.
I'd sure like to, though.
I'd like to.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
Okay, we'll do a gamut point here. We'll do the back of the hand.
Okay.
Close, open, down hard right, down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Gorgeous other way. Happy birthday together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do floor, keep tapping, floor to ceiling eye roll. All this remaining sadness.
All this remaining sadness.
We're losing years together.
We're losing years together.
All this remaining sadness.
All this remaining sadness.
No connection with my sister.
No connection with my sister.
And no connection with my nieces and nephews.
No connection with my nieces and nephews.
Not as much as I'd like.
Not as much as I'd like.
Simply because we can't have a connection.
Simply because we can't have a connection.
She's so difficult.
She's so difficult.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
She's so difficult.
She's so difficult.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
She's so difficult.
She's so difficult.
Those are waves for you. A little bit more.
Yeah.
It's interesting to
Certain things hit.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little word or it's a little idea That the mind
memes or memes they call them.
Mm-hmm.
Those little word viruses.
Yeah.
Or memory, or is it information viruses that we have? I was reading that Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Oh yes.
His book.
Yeah, it's a concept that the mind has. It's very attached to what you perceive originally you would have liked your relationship to be with your sisters. You grew up and your kids grew up together and you spent time with your nieces and nephews and vice versa. And then when someone takes that away, or that concept gets muffled, or it's disintegrating and there's nothing we can do, the mind holds on to that. The mind really wants to hold on to that. It was supposed to be this way.
Yes, that's true.
It was supposed to be this way. And then we get upset because it's not that way. Because we're not able to go with just letting things be as they are.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it kind of rings a bell for you, maybe, that if things aren't turning out the way I thought they would. Or did you have ideas?
I didn't really have any preconceived notions, but it's just, the family feelings that you have, like it's family, right? And if you can't be supported by your family, I mean, it's a tough world out there. If your own family doesn't support you, then what do you got, really? Because they're the number one supporters, right?
You have a belief system that says family should be supportive.
Yeah, maybe it's not really something that should be changed.
And what she's doing is violating that concept.
Well, yeah.
Yes, and that's outside your comfort zone,
I guess.
So even though she's not being supportive when family should be supportive, when family should be supportive,
when family, I think, should be supportive,
shouldn't they?
Yes.
Yes. I can love and accept myself. Fully and completely. And maybe understand one day. That her concept of family. Is a little different than mine.
A lot different than mine.
Her concept of family. Is different than mine. I think family should be supportive. They should be 100% supportive.
But they want to put you in a box. They want to treat you the same way that, you were as when you were a kid.
Right.
Or
she's not supportive.
No, she's not.
Not in the way that she should be.
Not in the way that she should be.
Why?
Yes, we all have our differences, but we should celebrate those differences. Not everybody doesn't have to be the same. Like, you have to understand other people.
You have to understand other people. Her concept of family is a little different than mine. And maybe that's okay. Her concept of family is a little different than mine. And maybe that's okay. Deep full breath. I know. Just say her concept of family is different than mine.
In my head?
Yeah.
That's fine.
And how does that feel?
Good. I feel fine.
So that may or may not be connected to the jaw clenching. There's probably, if there's a pattern or a tendency for you to hold on to emotions, whether it was sadness or whether it's anger when someone at work is making you do something that you don't want to do, if that's a pattern, then we'd have to actually go back and tap on each of those.
Oh, okay.
So we can tap on, like the mornings that you wake up with jaw tension, you can tap on this jaw tension. I feel this jaw tension that I feel to help alleviate that. But it's really about doing a bit of, more than one session and sort of identifying all the issues that cause you repressed emotions like anger or resentment or sadness. Because it may be resentment towards your sister too for being the way that she's being and tearing the family apart. Right? But that's a whole other session.
Yeah.
Is there resentment towards her for...
I think for a long time I did resent her, but like I said, with all the information, like since I've retired, I've had time to read and work on myself and explore different things, which is why I came to your seminar. And I've actually, the interesting thing was that my husband's aunt told me, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, told me about EFT. She's like 75, and she was going on a bus trip with her husband down the state somewhere, and she must have been talking to this lady on the bus, and the lady said, you need EFT, and told her about it. And
Awesome.
then I don't get a chance to talk to her that much, and when we chatted, she said, Google this EFT.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, wow, that is really interesting.
That
A
someone
75-year-old woman
is doing it.
you know, showed
There's
me
anybody
what
that
this
can do.
is,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm thinking like, that's wonderful.
Awesome.
Because I know she had a lot of emotional issues with family, and you know, that's
we
just
might have to, sometimes we have to do some digging to access that resentment, because maybe we felt resentment initially and then it kind of fades away because we just get so used to it.
Plus,
or we start to bury it a little bit. Or
when we don't live in the same city, so there's no proximity, so it's easy for me
easier to disconnect from it.
So that's basically the way I handle it, you know. I mean, I'm pleasant.
We handle it by holding it, right? So to a certain extent.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
well, I hope we can work together again.
Yeah.
Sometime soon.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.